Good evening, sir. Are you aware that there's a mandatory evacuation in this area? Well, I live here all my life. I'm not going anywhere. You are leaving whether you want to or not. You'll leave willingly or by force. We don't have time for this. All right, fine. Just let me pack a bag. It'll only take a minute. You were notified a week ago. You had plenty of time to get your bags ready. Right now, you have time to get your keys, get in your car, and start driving. All right. I should have already had a bag ready. Do you really think something like that could happen? Not only do I believe it can happen, it does happen. Anytime there's a major hurricane, especially in Florida, a lot of areas have mandatory evacuation. They may not go door to door with National Guard making you leave, but the cops may come to your door. They may come into your neighborhood. It is a mandatory evacuation. The more dangerous the situation, the more likely the government will be to get involved. Of course, as always, it will be for your safety. Now, I'm not here to say whether or not you should trust the government.
I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
But sometimes history speaks for itself. So what should I put in this evacuation bag? I'm glad you asked, because that's what we're here for today. We're going to talk about some ideas of what you should put in a evacuation bag or a disaster bag. It's similar to a bug out bag. It's similar to a go bag, but there's a lot in a bug out bag that you shouldn't need in a disaster bag or an evacuation bag. So this bag is primarily for leaving your house and going to a shelter or in a camp or a hotel. This bag isn't meant for going out into the woods and bushcrafting your survival and all of that. It's simply meant for some basic items that you want to take with you. If you have to leave your house, these are the things that you want with you. If you have to go to a shelter, you want these with you. If you have to walk, this is what you want with you. You're not surviving out in the wild. You're not hiding. You're not, running away from anything. You are following instructions, going to a shelter or going to a hotel. So this is all that you can take with you. So you want to make sure that you have everything you need. If they knock on your door and say, hey, you need to leave now, you don't have time to pack a bag, get your keys, get going. Well, I already have a bag. Let me grab it right quick and I'll go. You're good. If you don't have your bag, well, you got to go anyway, and you're just going to be stuck. You're going to have absolutely nothing. You'll be stuck, surviving on whatever FEMA deems that you should be getting. So let's take a look, see what we've got. Now keep in mind, none of this is set in stone. These are just ideas of what you might want to put in your bag. It's going to be different from person to person. One of the first things you want to think about is how much weight can I carry? If you're a little bit older, you may not be able to carry as much. Whatever you put in your bag, you're going to have to carry. So if for whatever reason you have to leave your car somewhere and walk, if you don't have a choice and you're stuck in traffic and you have to evacuate, you've got to grab your bag, leave your car, and walk. Can you carry what you put in your bag? Because they're going to leave you behind. They don't care. Nobody's going to stop and pick up your bag and carry it for you. Make sure that what you have, you can carry. So let's take a look. So one of the main things, you're going to need some kind of water. You want a way to carry some water, and you want a way to heat the water. You're wherever you go, they should have food for you, but you want to be self-reliant. You don't want to have to rely on them because they may not have food for you. They may not have everything that you need. And if you have to walk, you might have to stop on the side of the road and collect water, filter it yourself. So, um, this is a single wall stainless steel container. Worst case scenario, if you collect some water, you can pre-filter it with a bandana or a t-shirt or anything. Uh, put that into a fire or on a burner. Boil that water. It doesn't taste good, but you can drink it. You can also use this to heat the water for meals. We'll talk about that one in a minute. So a single wall stainless steel container. A lot of times you can find them at Goodwill for $1 or $2. So they're abundant and they can be fairly cheap. You don't have to get an expensive one. Um, Hand sanitizer. You don't know what you're going to be getting into, so you want a way to keep your hands clean. A little bit of paracord. Like I said, you're not bushcrafting, but you want a way to hang a tarp or anything like that. You always want to have some paracord with you. Um, Along that lines, say 4 tent stakes. Um, if you have to put up the tarp, you don't want to be making tent stakes. Just, throw some stakes in the ground, guy it out, hang it, and you have a little bit of shelter. Some kind of multi-tool. Uh, don't go with dollar store. Don't go with Ozark Trail or anything cheap like that. If you're going to be relying on it, you need something decent. Go with a Gerber, Leatherman. I have a Husky multi-tool that is similar to a Leatherman. It works really good. They're fairly sturdy, a lot cheaper. Just make sure that you have a good multi-tool. A pocket knife is always a good thing to have on you. Of course, always obey whatever laws are in your state or in your area. Also, the shelter wherever you're going may or may not allow certain things, so you may not be able to carry a defense weapon. You may not be able to carry a pocket knife. So make sure that you know what you're getting into. On the same lines, Mora, some kind of, doesn't have to be a Mora. Like I said, you're not bushcrafting, but some kind of fixed blade knife is a good idea. These are contractor garbage bags. So if nothing else, you can lay on it or put extra stuff in, whatever. They're always good to have. A little bit of chapstick. I personally don't normally have chapped lips, so that wouldn't be a thing that I would carry. But a lot of people do have that issue. So especially if you don't have enough water with you, you may want some chapstick. If you are in a colder area, you want some hand or body warmers. because the elements will hurt you. Headlamp. This is a Husky. A lot of times you can find them on clearance. Lowe's, Home Depot. Um, a headlamp is, you want a flashlight, you want to be able to see where you're going. Even if you are in a shelter and they're taking care of you, you still want to be able to see what's going on around you. And you don't want to be reliant on everybody else. Candles. There is a lantern specifically for these. Again, you want to be able to see what you're doing and not have to rely on them. Now, as far as heating, this is a Ozark Trail um, isopropane camp stove. So that goes on here. And these actually work really well considering the price. Um, Walmart has them. They are somewhere around $13 or $14. And I've found them to work really well. So there's better ones, of course, lighter weight or, better burners, bigger, stronger. Depending on your budget, you may want to get something a little better. If you're working on a lower budget or you don't want to spend that kind of money on something that you hopefully would never need, Ozark Trail works fairly well. Now, it's a water bottle, Nalgene. It's normally good to not go with anything, tactical looking, but this bag can be put on your belt and you can drop your water bottle in it and not have to carry anything or fumble with anything. So having a good water bottle carrier, something that you can attach to a belt or a sling, is a good idea. This one is from One Tigress. They're not that expensive. Good thing to have. This is a Nalgene. Again, you want something to be able to cook in or boil in. You also want something to be able to carry some water in. Nalgene is some of the best on the market. They're strong, sturdy, reliable. That's just a mouthpiece. Makes it easier to drink while you're walking so it's not splashing all over you. Not necessary, but you know. Glow sticks. Again, lighting is a good thing to have. Since everything fits into a Nalgene, it kind of makes it a little more compact. A lighter, always a good thing to have on you. I always keep them on me in my pocket, but extras are always good. Water purification tablets, because if you can collect some water, that would be better than trying to boil it. Um, Now, if you're walking, you're going to be burning through electrolytes. So this is a liquid IV just to replenish some of the electrolytes so you don't burn yourself out. Emergency vitamin C packets. So it kind of flavors your water a little bit and gives you some extra vitamins. More liquid IV. Water filter. So if you have a smart water bottle, this is a water bottle or a water bag that Sawyer Mini or a Sawyer Squeeze goes on. So you fill the bag with your water, be dirty water from a lake or a pond or anything, and you can drink straight from it. If you're walking, you're going to want water. If you are in a camp or a shelter, they should be providing water, but you want to have something with you just in case. Again, you're not surviving out in the woods. You're not running and hiding. You should be in a facility with trained professionals, but I would want some things so I can make sure that I'm good. Because when it comes down to it, your safety, your security is your responsibility. So if you end up somewhere and they don't have the things that you need, you've got it. So these are just little exit tabs. You light the top of it, and it can be used to start a fire if you gather twigs or whatever. They burn a long time, so it gives you more to start your fire with. Also can be used under your containers. Not necessary. It's just kind of, they're a lot small, lightweight. Why not throw it in there? Um, Now, communications. So after Helene, the rescue crews were having a big problem with communication because the cell phone towers and all of that were down. Uh, so talking a long distance wasn't working very well. They were using ham radios. Uh, if you and your wife or husband, or you have your kids with you, you want to be able to keep in contact with them. If one of you goes into the woods to use the bathroom, you want to have a radio. So everybody that's with you should have a radio, some way to communicate. Make sure that before you put them in the bag, make sure they're all set to the same channel. And if they have codes, squelch codes, make sure they're all set to the same codes. Because if somebody's in the woods and needs some help, they're trying to get a hold of you, but it's not set to the same channel. So a little cook set. Again, it's not, should not be necessary, but it's an option. Um, you have Mountain House meals, whatever. You can heat up some water in a container and just put it in there. You don't need to cook anything. If you do want the option of cooking, you know what you're going to cook. If you do, it's an option. Personally, if all I have is the Mountain House meals, I'm not going with that. I don't want a cook set because it's more weight. It's unnecessary. I have no ways to fish. I have no ways to collect food. So that's unnecessary, but it is an option. Cover. You want a raincoat, or personally, I would want a USGI poncho. They're great for multiple uses, obviously, as a poncho. They're big enough to cover you and your pack. Also, with a little bit of cordage, you can string it up and use it like a tarp to give you a little bit of cover overhead. Um, they can be used for carrying things. They've got many uses. I would prefer that. But if you don't want to spend the money on something like that, you can get rain suits. You can get cheap ponchos from Walmart. They have frog togs ponchos. I think they're about $6 or $7 a piece. You can get one of those and throw them in the bag. But you do want some way to keep you out of the elements. If it starts raining while you're walking and it gets cold, you could end up sick. You don't want to be sick while you're trying to get away from a disaster. Batteries, of course, if anytime you have electronics, you want batteries. You have a flashlight, you need batteries for that flashlight. You have a radio, you want batteries for your radios. That's the little tarp. It's just a 5 foot by 7 foot tarp. Nothing special, nothing oversized or anything. But if you get overheated or whatever it is, you need a little bit of shade. You can string this up like a lean-to and give you a little bit of cover. Or if you need to stop for a little while, you can set that on the ground, give you a place to sit. Again, not necessary, but it is option. Oh, I carry shamogs. They got a lot of uses. A lot of you are not going to be familiar with the shamog, but you can use a normal bandana. Um, that is for pre-filtering your water before you filter it or before you boil it. That is for hiding your neck from the sun if you're walking, or covering your face if you're in a smoky area or a dusty area. Again, a lot of uses. That is something that you want with you, some kind of a covering. Shamogs are great. They're large. They're dense enough to cover you. Military uses them. Most bushcrafters and survivalists carry those. If that's not your kind of thing, just a regular bandana. Just keep some kind of bandana with you. Change of clothes, especially socks and underwear. If you're going to be walking, your feet are going to get messed up. They're going to get soggy. They're going to get sweaty. You want to be able to switch out your socks so that you don't destroy your feet. Underwear, you don't want monkey butt while you're walking, so keep yourself clean. On top of that, I keep a pair of hiking pants. They're lightweight, quick drying, and a UV shirt, a UV protection shirt. That way I've got everything that I need in the bag with me. So no matter if they come knocking on the door in the middle of the night and I'm in my PJs or whatever, people go to bed in their boxers. You get up, grab your bag. You have a change of clothes that you can put on and get moving. You don't have to go fumbling with things. Um, Now, go here first. Toilet paper. So this is vacuum sealed, of course, to keep it dry and also to cut down on the size. I'll show you a trick to that. If you look inside your toilet paper roll, it's coiled. It has a spiral, so there's going to be an end that you can grab onto. You want to be careful with it. Kind of coax it around. You don't want to rip your toilet paper apart in the process. You're just trying to pull that cardboard out. Work your way around. Pull it out. Now you don't have that cardboard making it stiff. You can collapse it. I put it in a vacuum seal, and you see how much smaller. It's about half the size. You can put it in a Ziploc and keep it dry. Crush it down a little bit, but if you have a vacuum seal, that'll keep it a lot more dry and a lot smaller package. Next, documents. Of course, I'm not showing you my documents, just some empty envelopes, but you can take pictures of your documents and copy them onto a flash drive and print copies and keep them with you and put them in a Ziploc bag, keep them dry. You want ID, social security card, birth certificate, anything that's important. If you have deeds or titles to anything, you want to have copies of all of that with you to show that you own things. As far as family goes, you want to have pictures of everybody. You want to have your husband or wife. You want to have pictures of them. Um, your kids. You want to have pictures, recent pictures of them. Preferably not something that they're in a costume or something. You want to have, normal pictures of them. If you do have kids, you want those kids to have pictures of you. So make sure that if whatever bag they're carrying, they have a picture of you, recent picture, quality picture of you, not a glamour shot or anything fancy that's been photoshopped. If they can't tell that it's you, it's not going to help. So they need a picture of you with your name and your phone number. If phones are still working, you want them to be able to call you. So the idea is if they get separated from you, they can go up to an adult, say, hey, I lost my mom, I lost my dad. This is who I'm looking for. Can you help me? Um, so make sure that you and the children have documents, pictures of family. Keep them in a Ziploc bag. You can even, if you have a vacuum sealer, that would be even better. Vacuum seal all of your documents. You should never need them if you're not in this situation. So it's good to keep them in a good airtight package. Here you have the UCO lantern. Pretty much any kind of a candle or lantern would do. I prefer this one. You can replace the candles in it. It just works really well. You can, hang it from a tent or whatever, or you can carry it. They're small, light, compact. Gorilla tape. Big fan of Gorilla tape. Good, strong, sturdy tape. Good for repairs and all of that. Matches. You always want a Bic lighter. That's your first shot, but you always want to back up. Uh, the Gorilla tape is good. You can peel it off, roll it up, and use it as a fire starter. A good sturdy belt, man, woman, or child. If you don't normally wear a belt, it doesn't matter. You need a belt with you. Women normally wear dresses or skirts, sweatpants, things like that. They don't normally wear a belt. So keeping one in your bag, making sure that you have one, is a good idea. Make sure that it's a good sturdy belt, not some flimsy little plastic thing. You want something that's going to hold up. That water bottle carrier, you want to be able to put that on your belt. You want to be able to carry, certain things. Um, Sturdy belt, good thing to have. Batteries, any electronics that you have, you want batteries for it. Uh, DEET, mosquito repellent. If you have to get out of your car and walk, those bugs will mess you up and drive you crazy. Compass, not 100% necessary as long as you are, traveling in your vehicle. following the instructions, where you're supposed to be going, things like that. Um, I always like to have a compass with me anywhere I go. I have one in my watch. I have a second wrist compass. I have compasses in all of my bags. You should always have a compass with you. Flashlight, headlamps are good. Lanterns are good. Something that you can just point at what you want to see. A handheld flashlight is good to have. Silverware, just a fork and a spoon, something to eat your meals with. You may not have silverware wherever you're going, so it's good to bring it with you. Again, these are all options. I'm not telling you you have to have any of this. Some of it you really should, but these are just ideas. You should look at what I'm showing you and get an idea of what you want in your bag. Pair of binoculars. Um, Again, if you have to get out of your car and walk, you want to be able to see what's going on ahead of you. It's good to know in advance. Personally, I prefer carrying a monocular because they're smaller, lighter, and I just need to get a basic idea. I'm not having to pinpoint anything. I just want to get a general idea of what's going on ahead of me. I couldn't find my monocular, so I put binoculars in there. Got a mirror. If you want to, if you get an injury on your face, get something in your eye, something like that, you want to check it. You want to check yourself for ticks, anything like that. This is just a mummy bag style sleeping bag liner. Just something for you to crawl into at night. Gives you a little more comfort. It's really not going to keep you warm per se, but it'll give you a little bit more comfort than having nothing. So for food, I have Mountain House. There's different manufacturers, different brands. There's some of them are better than others. But these you can get from Walmart. They're about $10, $11 a piece. Um, they're supposed to be 2 serving. Uh, I could never get away with that. One of these isn't enough for me. But when when it's an emergency, they they do work pretty good. They don't taste great, but they don't taste bad either. They're dehydrated, so you open it, heat up some water with the containers I showed you, put the water in here, and just let it heat, let it rehydrate. Um, you should be going to a facility, some kind of structure. They should be taking care of you. If they're forcing you to go there, they should be feeding you. But you do want to keep something a little extra with you. If you end up having to walk or anything, you may need some nutrients. So I would keep at least a couple of these in the bag. Uh, Ramen, yeah, they're not healthy. They're not great for you, but it'll give you a little bit of something to keep you going. And the seasoning packet has a lot of sodium, which is good to help with your electrolyte. So those are some decent options. You don't want anything that's going to go bad too quickly. Um, it could be sitting in there for a good long time. Hopefully, you will never need this bag, and anything that's in it is going to end up going bad at some point. So try to go with something. These things have a really, really long shelf life, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Don't put anything that has nuts or seeds or anything like that. They tend to mold and mildew real quick. Um, Chocolate, of course, is going to melt. it is a good idea to have like Cliff Bars that are some kind of energy, something that you can snack on while you're walking. Um, so some kind of nutrient. You can survive without food for a long time, but you do want that comfort. You want something to snack on. You want to replace some calories. You want to replace some electrolytes. You're not used to not having food, so a couple hours of walking, you're going to start getting hungry. Have something with you. Now, the last thing we need to talk about is probably one of the most difficult things for you to really keep on hand: cash. The amount is debated a lot. I think you should have at least $100. Um, Small bills, you don't want $100 bill with you. If you have to buy something and they don't have change, you don't want to be spending $100 for a bottle of water. I would say at least one or two 20s, tens, fives, and some ones, just to give you something. If you have to buy some water or a snack or pay for a hotel room or something like that, you want to have cash on hand. Again, the amount is up to you. Try to keep as much as you can. I would say at least 100, but you should definitely have some money in your bag with you. Now, like I said, everything that I'm showing you is options. Now, everything that I've showed you so far fits inside that one bag. So those are just the options for that one bag. You can get bigger bags. You can carry more items. Um, Again, you want to make sure that you can carry the weight that you're putting in it. Well, you've given me a lot of options to think about. I'm going to go start putting my bag together right now. I don't want to wait until we run out of time. So with everything that's been going on lately, so we've got record weather patterns. Last year or this past year, I was watching. There's been record amounts of snow, record amounts of waterfall, record earthquakes, record tornadoes. So many records, one after another after another. And on top of it, we've got wars going on, and everybody's fighting with everybody. And now all of a sudden, we've got presidents pissing off Russia, and now Russia's threatening to nuke America. At any point in time, things can happen, and you could end up in a mandatory evacuation zone, or something could happen, and you choose to leave. Hurricanes coming. You live in Florida. You live in one of those areas. You need to get going. You want to have a bag packed and ready so that you're not fumbling around your house last minute putting things together. Get it done, get it ready now, put it somewhere that's out of the way. So that's it for today. I hope this information is helpful, maybe give you some ideas. Let me know if you can think of anything else that would be good to have for a shelter bag, not a go bag, not a bug out bag, but a shelter bag or a disaster bag. And I'll see you next time. Have a good night.